Hey friends, are you done with dating apps? Tired of swiping through profiles and superficial chats that go nowhere? Well, swipe left on those boring rituals. Introducing Done with Dating, the free podcast driven dating platform that's bringing human interaction back. We sit down with incredible singles for real conversations on our weekly podcast. Listeners like you get to know them deeply, then apply to date a guest or step into the mic yourself. Plus, we'll regularly host experts that discuss the dating world and provide advice on self-improvement techniques when you are taking a break from dating and focusing on yourself. Made for the bold, built for connection, your dating journey redefined through the mic. Head to donewithdating.co right now and apply. It's free. Your perfect match is just one episode away. Hi, I'm John. Over the last 25 years, I built a career around getting people to open up and share their story. That skill started the moment I became an intelligence officer in the United States Air Force. Whether I was debriefing crews in Korea or supporting C-17 missions flying over Afghanistan right after 9/11, I learned how to ask the right questions under pressure, read the room, and pull out the critical details that mattered. I honed my interviewing skills when I joined the FBI as an intelligence analyst. I supported investigations covering criminal and national security cases from civil rights and gangs to counterintelligence and counterterrorism. The FBI taught me how to listen, connect seemingly unrelated details, and turn raw information into clear human narratives. I'm still doing what I've always done, building trust fast, asking thoughtful follow-ups, and creating a space where people feel safe enough to tell the truth. That same discipline, curiosity, and ability to draw authentic stories is exactly what I'll bring to every conversation on the Done with Dating podcast. This first episode, I am being interviewed by an expert that will be on a later episode. Please enjoy episode 1 of Done with Dating.
Hey, John.
Hey, Christina.
What made you decide to start a dating podcast right now?
I was really frustrated with the dating scene. I really hated the apps and I backed away from them. And I started listening to podcasts about dating in general. It seemed a lot of people felt the same way. So I figured, why not just create a dating podcast?
You mentioned that you have listened to other dating podcasts. What's one thing that you wish existed in the dating podcast space that you don't see right now? And how are you trying to fill that gap?
Yeah. So I would say the biggest thing that I thought was missing is the interaction because people would come on and they would just talk about dating and they would talk about their experiences, but there wasn't necessarily the opportunity to interact with that person, or there wasn't really that opportunity for you to find out about the individual people. So, what I'm trying to do with this podcast is if someone wants to meet a match, have them come on here and essentially tell us about yourself and what it is that makes you a great catch, why people should want to date you. Give your elevator pitch, but then through interviews, I will try to draw out more of someone's personality and get that to show off so that people can actually display who they are, maybe because of something they're excited about that they're talking about. You know, if someone loves snowboarding and they otherwise are a shy person, but then they get into talking about snowboarding and they're really fired up about it, then great. Then we'll have a conversation about that. They can hear that. And if there's someone else that likes to be a snowboarder, then maybe they'll connect here. And if someone's listening to the podcast, I've set up the website so that they could apply to date that specific podcast guest, and then they'd be able to maybe find that connection.
That's awesome. I like that you're thinking of bringing back that interactive piece, which I think so many people feel is missing in the dating space right now.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm hoping so.
So your dream listener, it sounds like, would be somebody who could find connection through this podcast, could find inspiration or might be entertained. Would you say that's right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say my pillars for this, the dream listener could fall into any of these pillars. The first is matchmaking, which I do want to help people find their long-term relationship, I don't want it to be like a hookup app or a hookup podcast. I want it to be something deeper than that. The second pillar is self-improvement and helping people to gain a better self-awareness by maybe listening to others and hearing, "Oh, yeah, that's how I felt about this," or listening to those experts that come on and talk about their expertise that might help this person to become a better version of themselves. And then lastly, just entertainment. I have a ton of people that just want to listen. And so I'm happy about that. If people want to just listen and live vicariously through the podcast and be entertained by the stories that might be funny or the horror stories and be like, thank God that wasn't me, I'm happy to have them listen just for the entertainment purposes, even if they want nothing else from it, but just to subscribe and listen. That would be great.
Definitely, because so much changes every year with all the different technology and things available that anybody could listen to just get what's the newest of the new.
Right.
So, I'm sure your listeners will wanna know what your dating history is like. Sounds like you're in a relationship currently, but how much of your personal experience will show up in the show?
So I've recorded a couple of podcasts already, and I do talk about my personal experience, but I do so with the idea that I want to keep the anonymity of people that I've dated in the past to the relationship between me and them. So I would say probably we'll talk about some of the more comedic stories that I've had dating, maybe some of the more self deprecating stories in terms of experiences that I had where I was like, wow, I really screwed that up bad. But but essentially, to answer the first part of your question, I am in a relationship. I'm extremely happy with the person I'm with, and um, so to me, I I got here though because I did a lot of self introspection, a lot of self improvement, and I'm the best version of myself that I could be. It took a lot of iterations of me. I had to change a lot. I've been through a divorce. I've been through three really serious relationships, one of them being the marriage, and it changed me to be the best version of myself. And so I was ready again to start dating and I found my person, which is awesome.
So, let's hear it. Have you ever had or what was a dating experience that's kinda wild, bad, embarrassing, beautiful, anything, that you knew it had to become podcast content? What's the story? But don't disclose anyone.
Yeah, so this one goes back far, but it's by far the most humiliating experience I ever had. So I was 16 and a half or so, and I was just starting dating. I had a crush on this girl who I saw in church every week. So I ended up going to ask her out, and she said yes. So I was like, "Oh, this is awesome. This girl is so hot." She was a great athlete. It seemed like a very popular person at school. So I'm going to definitely rock this date. So we were going to do dinner and a movie, and I got her phone number at church, which I was pretty proud of. Pretty bold and daring, I would say. And then I went to pick her up. So I'm driving my dad's Lincoln Town car. It's basically like a mafia car, and at that time, my dad looks like he's in the mafia at that point as well. And so I'm driving this big ass Lincoln Town car and I missed her street. So I take a right turn, I go down the side street, I go to turn around and I drive up on the people's driveway, but they had like stone at the end of their driveway. So I ended up getting in an accident and driving over the stone literally to where my wheel was off the curb. I have this major damage on the car. I am so screwed when I get home. But I can't be late for this date. We don't have cell phones at that point. Do I go home? Do I tell my dad? Do I just go to her house and say, I just got in an accident, I've got to cancel? But she's so hot, I can't cancel this date. So I show up to her house late. I was originally going to be 15 minutes early, but this person came out of the house. So I had to talk to them. They had no damage on their stonework, but my car was really scratched up. So like, I'm disheveled now. So I get her, open the door for her, let her in. We're actually now too late to go to dinner in order to make the movie that we were planning to see. So then we go to the movie. I got, like, snacks or whatever, bring her home, and, that was it after that. She's, like, not interested. Then I heard the backstory that she was interested in this guy 3 pews up from me in church. So, anyway, there's my story. Pretty
Wow,
ridiculous, but yeah,
your dedication was real, though.
it was
It
real.
really
It
was.
was
It was
real.
real. Yeah.
It was. Luckily,
Yeah.
that's the worst dating story I've had, and that was 35 years ago,
Mm.
so I'll take that.
Yeah. So I think it's important for people to know about what generation you are and where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, so I'm a Gen Xer. I was born in 1975. I was a child of the '80s and '90s, and, I'm a divorced dad. I have 3 kids, and they're awesome, but that's it about me as far as my generation. I do work with a lot of younger people. I work with older people as well, so I'm learning a lot about the younger crowd, and I am trying to use Gen Alpha language because that's what my kids use, and every time I use something in Gen Alpha, my daughter essentially explodes into orbit. She's like,
Mm.
"Stop, dad, stop."
So how's your aura?
My aura is good, I guess, as an Xer. It might be pretty weak as a Gen Alpha.
So good. All right. So what's the format plan for the podcast? What do you got going on? What do you have in store for us?
Yeah, so as an intelligence officer and working for the FBI, I call it intelligence prep of the battle space. So the first series of podcasts are all about the environment that we're walking into with this podcast. So what does a dating environment look like? I'm gonna try to bring on some experts to talk about what they see. I have some people interested in coming on that have really good professional backgrounds that probably have dealt with a gamut of people in terms of men and women who are in the dating world and are at different ages. So I hope to take advantage of that expertise and just talk to people about what they're seeing in the space in order to prep that battle space so that the people who are just listening for entertainment and want to live vicariously through the podcast can hear about what the dating environment's like out there. Probably some of them will be like, thank God I'm in a relationship. I'll probably keep a lot of marriages together with this or relationships together. So I think, to me, that's a big thing for me is trying to just make sure that people can enjoy what they're hearing.
So you seem to be pretty honest and open about your own mistakes and things like that. How much will you share about your own times that you've been the problem and where will you draw the line?
So the format will be different. If it's an expert on, I will probably talk more. But if it's somebody who's coming on as a person looking for a match, so if that's the podcast that we're doing in that format that day, it's all about them. 20. We really want to hear about them. We want to hear about their lives. And for people who come on, if they don't want to do a video, then we'll just keep it audio only. But I'm planning to post some of the dating episodes on YouTube as well so that people can go and see this person as they're talking, as they're communicating, and can get a feel for how that person is as a human, not just as a profile on a dating app or a series of pictures.
Yeah, because it does make a difference when people are talking about things that they love or dislike. It really does show you more into who they are.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And you can tell a lot by a person with how they communicate, how their stance is, how they hold themselves. And that might help me also determine how much I want to follow up with someone when asking a certain question.
So, what do you want most listeners to feel or do differently after they listen to an episode of Done with Dating?
I want people to feel good about it and want to jump into the next episode. They like what they heard and they want more.
What's one dating myth or trend that you're trying to destroy or defend on the show?
I feel like a lot of people are hopeless, and my goal would be to tell them that there is hope out there. If you have taken a break right now, if you're done with dating for the moment, but through self-improvement, you can find that best version of yourself, which gets you at a better point where you can be in a relationship. You can find your person. And I feel like the apps a lot of times just they're working on that dopamine hit. Oh, someone liked you, come back on. Come back and be your best self. Whatever the case may be, like I just want people to find hope in themselves and then hope for love.
Yeah, that's great because I think we're all craving more connection. And this sounds like it'll get
Yeah, I hope so. And people might
great.
be able to connect to some of the guests that they find to be interesting too.
Yeah. Yes. So how far along are you in this? Do you already have episodes recorded? Are you still in the I bought a mic and named it phase?
I did just set up my mic. No, so I've recorded several episodes. I'm excited. We're getting going. And so once we get enough people on in a regular rotation, I'd love to get 2 to 3 episodes up per week. And I hope that is a lot of people who want to look for matches.
Great. What's your biggest logistical hurdle that you've hit so far?
Getting started, building momentum is very difficult with any kind of thing that people do. I mean, I'm psyched. I already have about 7 or 8 podcasts lined up, so that gets me like my first month of podcasts. But that is challenging because you've got to create a brand and you've got to get people to believe in it, and then once people believe in it, then you'll build that momentum more.
Def- Well, it all sounds so fascinating, and I know I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm sure others are as well.
Well, thanks. Thanks for helping me with this episode. It'll be episode 1, so thanks very
All
much.
right. Jumping in. Sounds good.
Thanks, Christina. So if you're done with endless swiping and ready for something real, don't miss a single episode. Hit that subscribe button right now on your favorite podcast app and never miss the bold conversations that could change your dating life forever. Every week we bring you incredible singles, excellent advice, raw stories, and real opportunities to connect, all for free. Subscribe today, apply at donewithdating.co, and turn your next listen into your next date. Your perfect match is waiting on the other side of the mic. It doesn't matter where you live, someone local is listening and will want to date you. We'll see you in the next episode. Subscribe now.